As always, hydration is key. We're going to be talking about the top mistakes that engineers make today. I know it's a lot of y'all out there with some grievances against your engineers. Let's talk about it real quick. What's the top mistakes that audio engineers are making as we come through? I'm going to lay out some that I've seen, that I've made myself. And I know y'all gonna chime in. No, the purpose of this is to just help us get through, right? Not to bash on engineers, but to just help us all get a little bit better. What's popping? Top of the morning as y'all come through. Just hit that share button. Good morning, mother. You're up early. What's good from Houston? Shout out to Houston, man. Houston show love. I'm about to move to Houston, man. I think I'm about to move to Houston. Houston looking like it's popping. Bro, Adam Long told me to contact you. That's a fact. That's my guy. If he told you to contact me, then make sure that you do. Because we got to tap in. Take it easy on us, Wade. Make sure y'all share this live. So let's get right to it. Everybody, man, I see everybody coming through. Nigeria in the building. What do y'all? Let's start off in the comments. What do you think are some of the top mistakes that engineers make? As you come through, drop that in the comment. Mixed by Isco say he gonna show me the best taco spots. Yeah. Shout out to Full Sail. Shout out to Wavy Wayne University. The skit videos are hilarious. But yeah, I want to know. I want to start off in the comments today. I want to know, what do y'all think are the top mistakes that audio engineers make? Mixing engineers, recording engineers, even live engineers. What are the top things y'all hearing or seeing? Okay. We getting some good ones. Communication, I like that. Esco say communication is one of the biggest issues. To me, I couldn't agree more. Communication is key. The client, everybody needs to be in communication. I made a video one time harping on the artist about communication, because sometimes the artist is not communicating enough and guiding the song enough to where they need to go, right? I mean, as far as communication with what the engineer do, what we need to do, just tell you, listen, all right, we're going to start that over. We're going to punch you in, or give me a second to get the levels. How does it sound? Otherwise, like, I think a lot of the driving force of the session needs to come from the artist or the producer. Now, if the engineer, which we are sometimes, well, most times are in our home studios and project studios, most of the time now we're also playing that producer. So walking that line is it can definitely get challenging. What's up from the Philippines? Communication, one of the biggest issues. But for real though, getting it right at the source. I love that. That's one of the big things for me. I'm huge on that. Listening to the sound before you hit record. That's why we got monitoring equipment. That's why they call it monitoring, right? So we got to listen to what we are, even before we want to listen to the final output. So if you recording to tape, you would listen to the output of the tape machine. If you recording the Pro Tools, you're going to listen to Pro Tools output. So you listening, not just in the room. Yeah, they spitting these bars and they sound good. Go and actually listen to what that raw sound like. Solo that out and listen to the microphone. Now, a lot of us, if you're in the home studio environment, it could be tough to hear that. That's why I created my headphones that are literally intended for you to isolate the room, right? They attenuate 33.4 dB. They isolate yourself from the room so that if you have a problem in your room, even if you're recording in that same room, you engineer, you can hear that. And it could be sometimes as simple as moving the microphone from one spot to the next. So even if you might be in a home studio situation or a project studio, or even the biggest studios in the world, even working at Quad, depending on where you put the microphone, you might be picking up radio frequencies or getting some reflection off of the glass in the booth or something, right? So the mic positioning, it could be key. So definitely, whatever you recording, you always want to listen to it. So getting it right at the source before you hit record. That's back to my whole point of mixing before you ever hit record. And that's just taking the time to actually listen and make the proper adjustments ahead of time. And not necessarily with gear. It could be tuning the instrument. It could be making sure the delivery is right. It could be making sure the singer got some water. It could be moving the microphone position. Over compression, top mistake. Absolutely, hands down. Over compression. I hear so much stuff that's so over compressed. Like, and I'm impressed by some of the amount of compression that I hear too. I'm like, damn, how did you get this so compressed? I don't even know how to do that. I was like, what, you got to show me that. So, listen, can you show me that technique? I don't know how that got so compressed. Shout out to y'all coming through and hitting that share button. Skipping the little things that matter. What do you mean by that, Type Mix Studios? What do you mean by skipping the little things? Over mixing, down a rabbit hole. Over mixing. That's the less is more concept, right? I think less can be more, for sure. I think one of the important things that we can do, one of the most important things that we can do when we mixing is take frequent breaks and stop mixing. So, this is what I mean by that. When you start off a mix, you go in, you try to get the big picture quickly on the mix, right? And moving faders around. If you notice any problems, let's fix and address those pretty quickly. After about 45 minutes, an hour working on that mix, stop mixing for a while and go back to listening, right? It's a transition. So by stop mixing, you could just maybe print where you at this moment, right? Maybe bounce it down. Or maybe even just take a step back and go sit on the couch for a minute. Go get you a cup of coffee. And then just listen to where you at. Maybe stand outside, take a, go down the block real quick, grab lunch. And just listen to where you at. And then take note. You can use your notes on your phone. You can use a mental note. That don't really work too well for us, though. But literally take a note and then write down, all right, the kick is too loud. I need to actually time these vocals a little bit better. I need to do this. And then you go back to mixing and then listening. Because sometimes like we think that we can do both, right? People cannot do two things at one time, right? So you can't be listening and mixing at the same time. You can go back and forth between listening and mixing, right? But the whole point is to be intentional on what you're doing, right? So you need to be intentionally switching from mixing, tinkering, changing, fixing, intentionally switching from that to intentionally listening. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people saying compression. Myself, I add too much air. Too much air. I mean, that's just, if you're talking about like vocals, and I know a lot of us are talking about recording vocals, use a low pass filter. Use a low pass filter on vocal tracks, and other tracks that you think are too bright. Use a low pass filter. A lot of the lower end microphones, like a lot of the starter microphones, they get brittle on the high end. Using a low pass filter can help make it more velvety, more smooth, and roll off high frequencies up to about 15 kilohertz. Make sure you listen to it, but that can help to smooth out some of that brittle high end, right? Not listening to the artist. Listen to your artist. The artist, if they paying for the session, they the client. Shout out to everybody that's sharing right now. Shout out to everybody that's sharing. Don't forget we got badges down here. Badges are like a way of kind of dropping tips. It's like the way you keep the collection plate going. And it's also your digital swag in here, I can't see if y'all got on Jordans or if y'all got on Shaqs. I can't see that. The only way I can see that is if we got badges. All right? Not listening to the artist. No, that's key, though. The artist is the boss, right? And I always talk about this. We are in a service industry as audio engineers. Our first master, when you're a service engineer, you got to think about, okay, there's a servant, there's a master. Our first master is the music. So we got to do what the music asks of us, right? Which requires us to listen and not just be attacking it, right? So our first master is the music. Our second master is the client, who's the producer, who's ever paying for or facilitating this session that we're working in. Right? So listening to the artist shouldn't be a problem. Yes, you come and you have a valuable input as well. Right? And that's why they hired you. Maybe maybe it depends. You know that line, right? There's a line that you know to where, okay, did they hire you for your expertise in production and they want you to produce and guide this session, or do they want you to facilitate a recording or facilitate their vision to get the mix done? And sometimes that is like we just end up being the medium between the client's vision and the technology, because they don't know how to do this technology, but they got the idea, and they ultimately want us to be the medium. We the middleman between their ideas and the tangible product, which is just the song. So you got to listen to your clients. You got to have communication. Too much effects. Yes, too much effects. Too much effects. Another thing you could listen, low pass all your effects. I'm gonna say that. Low pass and high pass all your effects. That means cut the high frequencies off and cut the low frequencies off. All of y'all effects. How much? Do it to taste, but do it. Don't let an effect just be wide open out there. Y'all got wide open, butt naked effects. You need to put some tapering on those effects, okay? We don't want our effects to be out here like that. Hone them things in a little bit. Work ethic. That's one thing for sure. Work ethic is always, that's anybody. Shout out to my bad supporter. Shout out to 1K Visuals. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. The rest of y'all, I'm about to kick out of here. Miss Heavy Duty Cutie. Wayne, what's up? Stop hating on other engineers. What you mean by that, all one? People hating on other engineers? How they do that? I don't understand that. I don't understand what you mean by that. How can somebody hate on you as an engineer? I know shit. I'm an artist that own a studio and can only hit the record button. I don't know shit. I'm an artist. Okay. Lazy EQing. No use of high pass filter. Lazy EQing. Too much high end. Yes. It's on the artist, okay? Need a warmer sound. What else? Over compression. Okay? Not trusting your ear over tweaking. That's one big thing too. Having confidence as an engineer and kind of knowing that you can trust your ear. And one way to build that confidence, especially early in your career, is by using references. Right? Use reference mixes and compare, after. Do the whole mix where you think it sounds good, and then play in a song that you think sounds good that has been commercially mixed after, right on the same system. Play it right there. See where you at. If you hitting that mark, you start gaining more and more trust in your ear that way, right? And it's not always there is trust in your ear, but there's also you need to have trust in the room that you're in. Right? That's why you got to listen through you got to have trust in your monitors, right? So we trust but verify, right? That's why we got multiple sets of monitors. We trust but verify. Houston, the whole vibe. Moved here from STL. Okay, I'm in STL right now. My family moved down there too. Facts. When I was down in Houston, they were showing mad love. Y'all keep dropping these. What else? What else are some of these the biggest issues y'all seeing? I need tips on how to make this a full-time career. Tired of going to work and putting the passion on hold. Whoo. Okay, Eugene. How long have you been studying this craft? How long have you been studying this craft? Because I broke down the way, if you are at this point in your career where you're ready to make this transition, means you've been putting in a few years of work already, maybe some part-time, maybe some learning, some interning, right? Some assisting. You've been learning that, right? Doing the ropes. I broke down the way to get $100,000 in your home studio. But at the very least, start supplementing the income that you're making right now, or to transition to actually replace it, right? So let's say you're making 50 grand a year right now. I don't know how, basically I did the math and we broke down exactly how many hours how many hours it would take, right? So if you're making 50 grand a year, let's say there's approximately how much is that a month? y'all about to get me do math and I ain't got my calculator. I'm hella late on the chat though. I'm about to bust down to some of the later chats. Shout out to the bad supporters though. Shout out to the bad supporters. Big ups, big ups. But yeah, but basically you break it down, you know. You say, okay, to replace this, here's my budget. Here's how much I need to live a month, including my bills and everything that I got to pay for it. Once you get that number, then you basically say, okay, here's how much I want to charge for studio time. Maybe you want to charge $25 an hour for studio time. How many hours do I need to book each month to hit my hit my budget? All right. It started as simple as that. How many studio hours do I need to book? Okay? And then start there. Start there. Philip North bought a badge. Shout out to the bitch ass. Much love to you and Miss Caesar. What is the best way to get vocals sitting over the top of the beat? Or rather, what mistakes might one make when trying to achieve this? That's a good question. Beats by Peeps. Good question. If I'm trying to get my vocals to sit over the beat, right? Turn whatever's over the vocals down. That is all. Good night. Turn whatever. We subtract. Go the opposite way. Go the opposite way, okay? Turn stuff down. Start off with the and you might be working with a 2-track. So if you're working with a 2-track, maybe that's what you mean. Because when I'm working with a multi-track, I'll start my session up. I'll get my drums up, get my kick, get my snare, hi-hats, right? A lot of time I'll bring my vocal in, get that vocal sitting where it needs to be sitting, and then I can work everything else into the mix. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's in most rap, hip-hop, pop songs, that's what's going to matter. It's them drums, that vocal. I can work with everything else. You know, everything else is going to be the secondary layer, and I'll make sure nothing else interferes with my foundation, which is the drums and vocals, right? But if you're working with a 2-track, it could get a little bit more, complicated, right? So there's a few techniques I like to do. One I'll share here now is using multi-band compression over the 2-track. Use a multi-band compression. And you can even use a compressor that has multi-band compression with a sidechain, right? To where I can just sidechain the high, mid frequencies where my vocal is at, and have the vocal output automatically compress the mid-range of the beat whenever the vocal is hitting, right? And just knock it down by a dB or 2. And that'll make sure that the vocal always has precedent over the beat. If you have the 2-track beat and you just can't get that vocal to stick out no other way. So that'll definitely be dope. Track spacer is good for 2 tracks. I don't know what that is, but it might be. What is it? Explain what that is. Shout out to the bad supporters. Y'all coming through. We got big Birkin badges out here. Beats Quiz Kid. Let me go to the badges. Mixer Studio. Philip North. We got big blue check with badges out here. Come on, man. Quit playing with y'all. That's digital swaggy right there, man. I'm telling y'all, that's the NFTs right there. You got the blue check with the badge. Come on, that's as good as a Birkin. That's as good as a Birkin. It's good. Mixer Studios. Yeah, you know, once you get 3 badges, then they put the glow around your name and all that. Quit playing with y'all, man. All right, so some more problems that we run into in the studio. What camera am I using? Ooh, I must be icy. What camera I'm using? I'm just using my iPhone though. I'm just using the iPhone. What is the best way to get vocals sitting? Oh, I already read that question. All right, let me see. What else y'all got though? Let me see. What are some stuff? Sidechain multiband compressor with EQ. That's basically what track spacer is. It carves out space for the beat vocals. Okay. In the beat for the vocals. Yeah. So basically, it's a plugin that's doing what I'm saying to do. It's a plugin that's doing what I would have worked around doing. They just kind of simplified the process in a plugin. That's cool. That cool. Crypto light. How to manipulate 2-track beat to sound better. Ooh, you gotta join the Wavy Seals Elite for that. How to manipulate the 2-track beat to sound better. So when can we show you our mixes, bruh? I do this for my Wavy Seals Elite. That's what we do. We team up. We come together and have like a night where everybody plays mixes, and there's a whole group of us, and we do it high quality because it's hard to judge mixes on here. So we use a high quality streaming plugin that sends out high quality studio quality audio to your studio or your headphones or even your phone. You can listen into it, but it's way better quality than streaming anything on Instagram or something. So y'all should join that so that you can be a part of the next one. You can bring the mixes that you've been working on and get some dope feedback from some dope engineers from all over the world. And yeah, that's how we rock. And then you might even get your joint to be mixed by like the whole group and get everybody's take on your mix. So that's all part of the Wavy Seals Elite. Link is in bio for sure. So when can we show you how to better manipulate? There's a lot of ways to manipulate the 2-track beat to sound better. There's a lot of ways. We talk about one way. One way I like to do is split it up. I like to split it into multiple bands. So I might duplicate the 2-track beat a few times. Use one of the duplications to only and roll off all of the high frequencies and just for the lows. That way I can, and maybe I'll do some saturation or limiting on there, and then just be able to boost the low frequencies. Just add a little bit more of that low band in whenever I want to, and I can do the same with the highs and mids. So that's one way to kind of get a better grasp on that. I need some NFTs. That's a fact. Yo, man, copy out NFTs right here. The badges is the NFTs in this live. You doing personal studio tours today? I might have to jump off in there in a second, man. We might have to see some studios. You want to see my studio? You want to show your studio? Hey, Wayne, watched a video on Travis Scott vocals and recorded a song with that. Turned out this preset's huge gem. Yo, that's love. That's love. And yo, I got a shout out to the Wavy Seals Elite again, man. My man Zach Steele, who's a recording engineer with Travis Scott, did the biggest album. What's that? Sicko Mode, right? He worked on that biggest project with Travis Scott. He actually showed me a lot of the Travis Scott vocal chain, and the whole Wavy Seals got to see a Travis Scott style session, and yeah, we just seen Lil Uzi Vert sessions get broke down and all that, man. So if you don't want to miss that kind of stuff, you better join the Wavy Seals Elite. Definitely. We even learned from Meek Mill engineer Cruz. Cruz came through. He was like, Meek Mill has his own template that he run around with. When he got to work with a new engineer, he literally gives them a template and tells them, this is how I want my stuff. This is me. Like, and obviously it's a starting point, but like, that's why it's confirmation for me. Like, I'm selling templates to help get y'all started on a sound that's consistent, a sound that artists who don't want to start off so technical and spend a lot of time figuring out EQs, compressions, reverbs, delays, right? You need to spend your time writing, recording, working on, the flows. You ain't got time to be doing the same thing, the redundant thing, right? Automation is key. That's what a template is. A template allows you to automate part of your process. How do you go about saturation in the low mids for keeping the vocal round and smooth? I love the FabFilter Saturn. FabFilter Saturn 2. That plugin, it allows you to do multi-band saturation. And then on each band, you can choose the type of saturation that you want. So I like to go with like a warm saturation in the mid range, and then like a clean tape on the high end, and then drive the amount of saturation on each band a little bit differently. So I put FabFilter Saturn as like one of the finishing touches in my vocal chain a lot. My man Sasu in the building. What do you think about Fresh Air Slate? The Slate Fresh Air is cool if it's not overused. It's cool if it's not overused. It works in some situations, but honestly, most times I end up going to something a little. Cause it can be a little harsh sometimes. And so you just if you're gonna use it, I would say put that on, and then like maybe you need to like hit it with a de-esser after that. But you know what I've liked? Lately I've been using the Moog EQ4 to add a little bit of extra high end on stuff. That Moog EQ, I got the UAD version of that. I've been using that on a lot of different stuff to just add a little bit of extra air. It has a little air thing. How do you tame that harsh 2K area? Multi-band compression every time. Multi-band compression every time. Multi-band compression. When mixing, how often do run tracks out of Pro Tools and through Board Gear back into Pro Tools? Pretty much about 50% of the time. Like as far as I'm using my hardware gear, about 50% of the time on the mixes. What's your go-to plugin for vocal cleanup? Go-to plugin for vocal cleanup. I don't think I use a plugin for vocal cleanup. I think I get down busy with the editing, trimming, cutting, adding them fades. That's how I get down on vocal cleanup. But if it had to be one plugin that I do like, it'd be an RVox. I like the gate on there. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little cheat code for me. The Waves RVox, to put that gate up. I like that. Should you bounce offline or print the track? All right, that's a good question, Jelly. I don't think that you should be bouncing offline because you may be missing mistakes. Now, printing versus doing a real-time bounce, if you're using outboard gear, definitely got to print. If you all in the box, I would recommend definitely. I mean, you could do a real-time bounce, or you could print it. Either way, to me, that's not gonna make a difference. But don't do an offline bounce. Never do an offline bounce. Always give yourself the chance to listen to the final product again. Always give yourself the chance to catch a mistake before the client does. All right, take that 2-3 minutes to catch that mistake. Never do an offline bounce. I do offline bounces only if I'm doing like a podcast edit and something is like an hour and a half long, then fine. But take that 2-3 minutes. You doing a clean version. You print something down. I've made these mistakes before. I want y'all to know. I don't want you to bounce down and you do an offline bounce and now you accidentally had the lead vocal muted or something. Your client think you were a buffoon, right? Take that 2 minutes to not do offline bounce. It's the worst thing that ever happened in Pro Tools. That used to not be an option. That's one of the worst things that ever happened in Pro Tools was the offline bounce. Because it strips us of that opportunity to double check ourselves one last time. And we always need that. And we just got to take your hands off and listen. Remember I told y'all earlier about going from mixing to listening. We need to be switching intentionally. You can't be doing and listening at the same time. You got to listen intentionally and then make the changes intentionally. And then go back and listen again and then tweak again if you need to. But remember that it's not happening simultaneously. It's rapidly switching from mixing to listening. And the more intentional that you are about that switch, the faster you'll realize your mixes will come together. Mike Dean didn't mix that. I don't know what you're talking about. Damn, I gotta see that. I'm trying to show you my small studio. Chill, B. I'm on a roll right now, man. Shout out to the badge supporters. Shout out to everybody got a badge, man. We got Big Birkin badges out here. Real Beats got a badge. Mixer Studio got mad badges and a blue check. Supreme Dresky out here, blue check, badged up. Beats Quiz Kid, blue check, badged up. Philip North, badged up. 808 Hana, blue check, badged up. 1K Digital, blue check, badged up. Hey, man, the blue checks and the badges is going crazy. Hey, yo, Insta, what's up with my check, B? What's up with my blue checkity? What's up with my blue checkity, man? Official key DJ. I bought like three of your templates. I appreciate that. Templates are a must. That's a fact. I appreciate that. I'm just coming late on this. Y'all probably just started doing that template talk. Just got done big airplay on some songs I mixed and mastered with your Luna template. That's dope. That's dope. What city you in? What city you getting that airplay in? Is it better to adjust volume with compressor or fader? Come on, man. Are you joking me? Fader. Use your fader finger. The fader is the best plugin. The fader is the best, the most underrated plugin. Let me see this again. The fader is the most underrated plugin that there is. We all got it. It's free. It's a stock plugin, and it's called the fader. Use that more than anything. Rely on that first and foremost. Everything else is just a version of the fader, right? If you think about it, a compressor, that's just a more complicated fader. EQ, that's just a more complicated fader. I don't understand what I'm talking about, though. I'm going to just drink more water. Shout out to the badge supporters. Y'all still coming through. I see you. Big Birkin badges. Is there an alternative for hanging panels opposed to drilling holes in the wall asking for a friend? Yes, there is an alternative. I found, depending on the what's on your wall, what kind of material your walls is, and how heavy the panels are. Like I have some small 12 by 12 like diffusers, right? That I was able to get on the wall using double-sided Velcro. But this part of London 16 kit. They're very, very light, so don't get that. If it's heavy, don't do it, right? If it's heavy, don't do it. It's got to be pretty small and light if you have like those type of panels. But other than that, drilling holes in the wall, I saw a system online where somebody was doing something with a system. So I'm sure that you can find a way. There's always glue, but that really there's glue. There's that adhesive 3M glue that we used to hang the Orlex and stuff up with that. But if you're like in an apartment or something like that, there's ways for you to get around not having any panels for sure. You just got to be smart about the setup in your room. How did you start producing and engineering? School? No, I mean, I didn't start at school. I went to school because I had started and I wanted to pursue more. I didn't start at school. How did I start? I just started because it was a necessity. I used to rap, so I was a rapper when I was young, and a lot of my friends were too. So we, had a studio. We would go to studios, and one of my homies ended up building his own studio, and shoot, we was all around. So if you wanted to record, you had to record yourself, or we took turns recording. Nobody was the engineer. Everybody was just rappers. We just had the stuff. So I'll be recording and he recording me, right? So we just switching back and forth, and this is really where it started. That's really how it started. Any comments on the Audient ID 14 with the TLM 102 for vocals? The TLM 102. I don't know about the Audient ID 14, but I'm sure that you can get a great sound with that setup. The TLM 102 is a decent mic. It depends on what type of vocals you're doing. If you're doing like heavy rap vocals, to me, yeah, I know that's not my favorite mic for rap vocals at all. The TLM 102 nor the TLM 103, but god damn, everybody has it. So it must be doing something. As far as the interface, you know, the more important thing is gonna make sure that you're able to get a good clean recording that's not distorted. You know, you're not in a basement that's all reverberant and echoey and stuff. You're in a nice, decent room, and you can get a good, clean, undistorted recording. Yes, you can do some good things with that. How long did it take you to learn audio engineering? I'm still learning. I feel like it's gonna take me my entire life to learn audio engineering. Okay, I feel like it's gonna take me my entire life to learn. Bounce to disc or print to tracks? Most of the time, I print to track because I might be running through hardware gear, but I do bounce to disc too. But a real time bounce, like I was saying earlier. Real time bounce, not an offline bounce, and you gotta listen. Is it better to sometimes to leave the breaths on the track or to cut them all out? Definitely better to leave some in. You don't want to just cut them all out. You want to cut them out where they're not tasteful, or you can also attenuate the levels, right? I love the clip gain feature in Pro Tools where you can just attenuate the levels. Shout out to everybody still buying badges and everybody that's sharing. I see the hearts going up and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that what I'm doing here is making a difference, because I log off, I log off. Is it better to sometimes leave the breaths or cut them all out? That was the question. Like I was saying, don't cut them all out. That can make your whole performance sound unnatural. If the breaths are obnoxious, using the clip gain feature, like something like that they have in Pro Tools, where you could just select that section of the breath and attenuate that volume down, that'll help a whole lot. And you can cut them down a whole lot, but long as there's that essence of it that's still there, it'll still feel natural from, word to word and phrase to phrase. So, okay. For the person that asked about cleaning up the vocals, try the C-Suite plugin. All right, I'm gonna go to some of the more recent comments. I'm sorry, I know y'all going crazy in the comments, so I gotta bounce down. Shout out to my man Cruz in the building. Slate Mike ML1 or the Neumann TLM 103. Oh my God. Yo, where did y'all hear about the Neumann TLM 103? If you got a Neumann TLM 103, drop a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat in the comments, man. If you own a TLM 103, put a 1 in the chat. If you own or if you thinking about getting a TLM 103, put a 1 in the chat. If you got a TLM 103 or you thinking about getting one, put a 1 in the chat. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of y'all. Already. Just for the 50 people that's in here right now, one of them, anyone, 101, 102, or 103. If you got any of the TLM 102 or 103, put a 1 in the chat. Mixed by Orlando, put 0. If you got a TLM 102 or 101, put a 1 in the chat. All right. See, I see a lot of y'all got that microphone, okay? A lot of y'all got that microphone. That's cool. TLM 49. Mixed by Sal. Got 1. All right, a lot of y'all got that microphone. Shout out to the bad supporters. This microphone, the LS208, just copped. Fire. Now you talking. Now you getting me excited. I like that mic. Yo, TLM versus Wavy. I also have the BCM 104. All right, let me talk about this TLM for a minute, man. This microphone, more people ask me about this microphone than any other microphone I've ever been asked about in my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Everybody seems to have this microphone. They got it on their list of things to buy. I want to know what influenced y'all to get this microphone. I think somebody said at one point Drake. They saw Drake on it. Did they see Drake on it? Something like that. You know, I think is that what it was? It's the Drake mic. You should make a Wavy One mix package with the headphones. Hip hop. Was it Drake? What was it that I see in major studios so we feel like it's an industry standard? Because it's anointment. No, yes, I know you see they like the U87 but on a budget. Yes. That's probably because of Drake. Yeah. So I think to me people get this microphone because of the name. The Neumann name is very pop. It's like the Michael Jordan name. It's like the Michael Jordan name when it comes to sneakers, right? And if you don't know a lot about sneakers, right? If I send my mama to the store to say, "Yo, give me some Jordans," if I send my mama to the store, I tell her go get me some Jordans. She might not come back with the ones. She might not come back with them thuns. She gonna come back with them Team Jordans that's sitting on the shelf. I think that's what's happening with the TLM 102 and the TLM 103. No shade though, man. I'm just saying that it seemed like y'all went out here and got the Team Jordans, the Jumpmans. You got the Jordan 28s. You got the Jordan 28s instead of the 4s, instead of the 12s. Shit, man, them ain't even some 7s. Y'all went out and got the Jordan 28s, man. Because of the name. Right? Like, again, if I sent my mama to the store, told her, yo, go get me some Jordans. She ain't coming back with these. She ain't coming back with these. Hold up. I don't think she gonna get these. She gonna get them ones that's on sale. But look, I say all that to say is that marketing, the name, the branding, that tells us how big the brand is. Now look, I ain't got no problem with that microphone. I think you can get a great results out of it. I think you can. Me personally, though, I know microphones that cost less that I feel like I can get better results out of. That's all I'm saying. I know microphones that cost less that I feel like I can get better results out of. So, and that's why when people ask me so much, and I know, like, you know, if you building up a home studio, project studio, you know, every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. So we gonna spend $1,200 on a microphone. We need to make sure it's that deal. Not just that it look good or got a badge on it, because we can't hear that. We can't hear Neumann. I can't hear what Neumann sound like. I mean, Neumann it ain't gonna give me a tag. It ain't got a beat tag like you just bought a beat from Buddha. It ain't gonna say Buddha bless this beat just because you bought that Neumann. I mean, so the more difference is how does it sound? How does it work for you? How does it work for your setup? How is it going to perform for what you needed to perform for, right? And you can find stuff. You might have could have bought 2 mics for that, you know. No shade on it though. I'm just saying. I just want us to think about things a little differently. That's all I'm saying. I just wanted to maybe switch our perception. If you got the mic, keep it. Don't go get it away from it. You see, we like to collect mics. And there's great things that it's for. Well, a lot of us get it for vocals. That's not my favorite on vocals. If you recording acoustic guitars, great. Maybe some overheads, some toms, some piano, great. I think that the TLMs are great for instrumental recordings. I think they are great for that. But you know, that's my own opinion based off the way my ears are shaped. Shout out to the new followers. Shout out to everybody that's sharing this live. Shout out to people that's buying badges. We got big badge supporters. Big badge supporters today. What mic do you recommend? Definitely the SM7B is one of them. I like Lawton Audio products. The LS208, the LS208, fire. The Lawton Audio LS208. I like the Ivantone CV12. I like the Ivantone CV12, best R&B mic for a female alto. Ivantone CV12. I would go with that. That's where I'm at. If that's and these around the $500 budget. If you want to go a little bit more, check a Mojave MA300. That's about $1,100. That's about that TLM 102 price range. Mojave MA300. You will not be sorry. You will not be sorry. Mojave MA300. O2 Hip bought a badge. Shout out to you. Y'all sleeping on MXL mics. I'm not sleeping on them. I know some dope professionals that do use MXL mics, for sure. Where's the Wavy One mic and Wavy One headphone bundle? That's coming soon. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's definitely coming soon. For now, copy 2 pair of them Wavy One headphones. You need at least 2 pair. What do you think about the Antares Mic Mod plugin? It's pretty cool though. Actually, I actually like that plugin. You know, it can give you a different shape right off the bat. So let's say you got, whatever mic that you got. A lot of us only got one mic. Maybe you got the 103, right, the 102. And you're like, okay, yeah, it's not really working for this song, this style that I want, right? That's why I got a bunch of mics so I can just switch them out, right? But if you got that 1 or 2 mics, you don't want to switch it out. You know what? Using a mic modeler is a good way to be able to get a different sound on that mic, get a different vibe for the recording. Because remember, we want to be mixing before we hit record. So if we can hear something different and hear what we want to keep as we are recording, and by the time we hitting recording, we pretty much sound like we 70% mixed while we recording, now we're in good vibes. All right. And that starts with choosing the right microphone, placing it in the right spot. Shout out to all the badges. Shout out to my boo came in. Shout out to all the blue checks, the big blue checks in the building. I got 3 pairs. What is the best saturation plugin for warmth to a vocal? My favorite saturation plugin is the FabFilter Saturn 2. That's an expensive plugin though, and you can get cheaper saturation though. Now, don't forget, if y'all use Pro Tools, don't forget about lo-fi. Don't forget about lo-fi. If y'all go buy anything too, I see some mixed by Sal say SM7B incoming. Make sure you use my affiliate link. I'm a Sweetwater affiliate. It's not gonna cost you nothing extra, but I really do love shopping at Sweetwater. Even them plugins too. All right, Sweetwater. I got affiliate link right in my bio. You shop through that. That helps me out. I appreciate that. So please don't forget. Is there a rule of thumb to know what reverb to use? Yes. If it sounds good, it is good. That's the reverb, the rule of thumb. Other than that, no. It's not. Don't overthink it. Listen to it. When I am working on reverb, high pass filter, low pass filter, right? To taste. Tame the reverb. What's better, Pro Tools or Logic? Pro Tools, quit playing. The Valhalla reverb, I just got that. That is pretty dope. I just got that one. I saw so many people using it. I was like, all right, fine. Let me try this out. And I do like it. You think you funny with that FL and Pro Tools skit, huh? Nah, that wasn't no skit. That was live action. That was live action, man. That was live action. That's just something that we caught. I was walking down the street one day and I caught Pro Tools just running up on FL like, dang, let me get my phone out. Man. Shout out to everybody that's sharing the live. Buying badges. We lit. Remember, the badges is your digital NFT. That's your swag in here today. And when you post your comment up, we see if you got them big steppers on or if you got them Jordan 28s. Who got the Jordan 28s on and who got the big steppers? I see Isorelli with the big steppers. Yeah. Don't forget, man. Don't forget. Do you have any video on printing on outboard gear or nowhere? Do I got a video? I don't know. All right, what's the best way to gain stage? Good question. I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to talk about gain stage, and then I'm going to get out of here. If y'all want to show y'all studios, I know some people wanted to get on here and see some studios. We're going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're doing studio tours, so if you join me tomorrow morning, make sure you're ready, you in your studio, and I want to see it. It's a good chance for you to show the world your studio and possibly get some clients, make some connections. It's going to be a whole networking day. We got studio tour day tomorrow, okay? So, what was I saying? And we got, Monday we got Irko. Irko. He coming through. So, it's going to be lit. Best way to gain stage. All right, here we go. I'm going to break this down. Shout out to the badge supporters. Shout out to the badge supporters that's coming through. Too hip. I see the badge, the digital steppers. Let's get it. All right, so basically what gain staging is and the best way to do it, if you got a signal that's coming in, when you're recording, you just want to kind of watch your peak, right? You want to watch the first signal that's coming in. You want to look, make sure it's a nice, strong signal that on your peak meter, it's peaking at about -8. Okay? We could be a little quieter. I want y'all to be a little safer. Some people would say -10 and -12, but nah, I want to be a little louder. All right? Let's get our input to peak about -8. All right? We peak it at about -8. When I come in, record everything peaking at that level, right? And that's just recording. You mix to taste using the faders. You mix it to taste using the faders. Now, once you start to actually get into the mix process, right, doing your recording, just make sure that your peak level is about approximately -8 dB on the peak meter, right? Now, jump in the chat and let me know what y'all think about this. As we start the mix, we want to start building up our mix with the loudest elements in our mix, the kicks, the 808, the bass, the main harmonies, the main melodies, right? Always use a VU meter. You see, I keep a VU meter here on my desk. I keep a VU meter on my desk, but you can use a plug-in VU meter too on your mix bus. Always use a VU meter. The point of that VU meter, all right, you want to actually calibrate your VU meter to -15. Waves, if you got one of the Waves bundle, they got the VU in there. You calibrate the VU meter to -15. And you want to be hitting about 0 VU throughout your mixing. If you got any tracks, let's say you got a multi-track, if any tracks are already hitting too loud, you can put a trim plug-in on it or even use the clip gain and attenuate it until it's hitting the right levels, okay? So that's the start of it. That's the start of it. I got a whole tutorial on using the VU meter and gauge staging on my website. What do you think on study music engineer? I don't know what that means. Thanks again. Thank you everybody that tapped in, buying badges, showing love. We got a lot of blue checks in the building with that badges, man. Let me see, man. Let me get y'all together. Being had the screenshotty. All right. I'm out of here. Y'all be dope.